Hey guys, and welcome to Pixel Cherry Ninja's channel. It's the weekend, which usually only means one thing. It's time for that weekly news roundup. As always, we will begin with FPGA gaming news, the MiSTer, the Analogue Pocket, and any other FPGA gaming news out there that is worth reporting. Timestamps are available, so use those to navigate your way around the video. And before we go further into the video, guys, I do have a Patreon set up if you wish to support the channel further than just liking and subscribing. And let's not forget about the sponsor of the weekly news show, MiSTer Add-ons, an awesome family-run business where you can get all your MiSTer needs taken care of. And finally, last thing, don't forget to check out London's best arcade, Free Play City. Anyway guys, let's get on with this week's episode. It's long and hard, but I absolutely love it. Guys, we are talking about Gradius 2 and it's finally out. This is a game I've been doing progress reports on for like the past year or so, and it's amazing to see this out. It's currently a beta release, so you will need to be a Hatego Patreon supporter in order to get access to this core. A special shout out to Hatego and team for bringing this over, and an honourable mention and a special thanks to Ulf Skutnabber, also known as Scuttis77, for their work and contributions in getting this core to where it is. So what exactly is Gradius 2? Well, as the name suggests, it's a follow-up to Gradius. The sequel is also known as Vulcan Venture in different regions. Guys, it's a really good game, but I tell you, I kid you not, this game is tough, like really tough. You need lightning fast reflexes as well as the ability to memorize patterns, but that goes for a lot of the older games, right? But play this, it's tough. Let me know how far you get. Now I just want to talk about some miscellaneous updates from Hatego and team. Let's bring those up on screen now. So JT Aliens, fixed low drum volume in the Crime Fighters game, and then for JT Vigilante, fixed sound distortion. JT Twin 16, the core that we're looking at on screen now, but the game we're talking about is, well, fixed to low sound in Dark Adventure. And a final note here, the missing version field in Analogue Pocket fields that caused troubles for updaters in the last release is filled now. Updates should work correctly with the new file. So I think that was with the initial release of this core. If you were having issues, then just run the updater again and it should resolve it for you. But in the meantime, guys, have a wicked weekend and definitely try out Gradius 2, but just be a little patient. Don't get frustrated. Get better, not bitter. And this week it has been mental. Absolutely amazing news from SRG 320. I'll talk about SRG 320 pretty much every week. They're the amazing developer that have brought us lots and lots of amazing cores like the SNES, the PC Engine CD, among others. Most recently, you probably know them from the SEGA Saturn core. So this is an extract from a video from their channel where they are showing the 3DO core in action. And guys, seriously, this is amazing news. It just popped out of the blue midweek last week and everyone was just completely gobsmacked. But having a look at this tweet from SRG 320 where they say, for the last 2 years when I have free time, I've been developing the 3DO core. Finally, I have some visual results. There is still a lot of work to be done on Sprite Engine and DSP. So far, only a few 2D games with rectangular sprites work. So guys, amazing. This guy spent up the last couple of years working on a SEGA Saturn core. It's an amazing core, one of my favorite cores on the system. And guess what? What do they do in their spare time? They go and make a 3DO core. 3DO core. So what does a developer do that's working on a core and he's made the core amazing? In order to relax, they work on another core. Makes sense, right? Either way, amazing times. SRG 320, cannot thank you enough for your contributions to the MiSTer community. Some really good news for all you vanilla folk out there. You know, you guys that don't like using unstable nightlies, like experimental versions of cores, you just like to run update tool and get whatever update tool gives you. Well, the good news now is the SEGA Saturn core on update tool has been updated to the latest version. So make sure you run the updater, it will grab the latest core for you and then just enjoy. If you haven't already dabbled in the SEGA Saturn, guys, it's an amazing system. It's something that I have grown to love, specifically since getting my MiSTer FPGA. This isn't a console I had growing up and I have a newfound love for the SEGA Saturn. It is probably my favorite console core on this system. But yeah, try it out. It's amazing. SRG 320 has a Patreon, so you can support him for his amazing work if you wish to do so. I'll also link a public post where they go over all the changes that they have implemented over the last few months. There's loads of them. I can't possibly read all of them out, but yeah, you can have a look at them and just see for yourself. But guys, this weekend, if you do one thing, play the Sega Saturn core. It is just superb. There are so many good games. You've got various Sonic games on there. There's a few games that I recommend. Time Bokan series. I can't remember the rest of the title. It's a fantastic shmup. Then you've got Golden Axe the Duel. If you like Street Fighter and you like Golden Axe, well, that's a combination of the two. It's a fighter based in the Golden Axe world, and really it is that good. Anyway guys, here, let's move on. But Sega Saturn hits update all. That's big news. Core is amazing. The Atari Jaguar, a core that was recently reworked by developer Grey Rogue. It's available for the MiSTer FPGA as a test build. So previously the publicly available version was the dual SD-RAM version, but guess what guys, all you folk out there with single SD-RAM MiSTers, which I know is most of you guys, can actually get the single SD-RAM version of the Atari Jaguar core. If you want to grab it, head over to the MiSTer FPGA Discord, head over to the test build section and download the latest version, which was made available on the 14th of January, just a few days ago. So just want to say it again, the Atari Jaguar core is publicly available as a test build for both dual and single SD-RAM setups. If you do get involved in the testing and you are playing these cores and you find some bugs, definitely report them back on the MiSTer Discord so developers can have a look at those bugs and look at resolving those bugs. It's always a large community effort that gets these cores to where they are. But absolutely amazing. What a year we are having for the MiSTer FPGA, Atari Jaguar, 3DO, Philips CDI, just so many different systems coming over to this. We've got the Sega STV being worked on as well. Honestly, amazing times. And try out the Atari Jaguar core. This game's a lot of fun, the Tempest 2000 game, but there are a lot of decent games on this as well. It's definitely a fun system to check out. And good news, single SD-RAM owners of MiSTer, you guys are profiting. In this section here guys, we're going to be talking about CPS3, the Capcom Play System 3. I want to keep our expectations in check. The CPS3 FPGA core still may be a long time away, but the reason that I cover this stuff, I like all the collaborations, I like all the prerequisite stuff that I see developers doing, because that's how a core is formed. There's the research part, there's the reverse engineering part, there's all the background work people do, they help one another, they collaborate, and then finally it will lead to an FPGA core. This is my most wanted core. I really would like to get Street Fighter 3 Third Strike as an FPGA core, something that I can enjoy and play with my friends. But let's have a look at this from RCA Victor Co, also known as Raki. They've been on fire recently with the cores that they've been releasing for the MiSTer. But this tweet here reads, "Thanks to CruiseLink2 for donating dead CPS3 chips. I'm collecting samples to build a semi-automated program for a 50 to 100k plus gates ASIC from the 90s. Garden variety 80s gate arrays up to 20k gates can be reverse engineered manually using Inkscape, but beyond that it's crazy." But what's really nice here is from Vertec just asking, would these spare you some work? And again, some custom chips here. So it's really amazing. It gets me excited about this, because it's stuff like this that I see a few weeks go, months go, and in some cases years go by, and then we start seeing an FPGA core. Now I know some people say this isn't possible on the MiSTer, but I've heard many times stuff like the PlayStation, the Saturn, the N64, the 3DO, the Jaguar isn't possible on the MiSTer, but we have seen some of those cores fully released, and we're seeing some of the other cores being worked on now. So whatever platform it comes out on CPS3, whenever it comes out, I know just like myself, many of you guys are going to be looking forward to it. Let's have a look at the MiSTer Games GUI by developer Boss Righteous. Guys, many of you have always said you would really like a front end for your MiSTer FPGA, something where it can show you screenshots, box art, give you a description of the game, some information. So this is what Boss Righteous is working on right now. It uses the groovy MiSTer core to give you this front end. Now guys, I absolutely love the simple MiSTer UI, and I find it very refreshing. However, I do love choices, and I know many of you guys like this. So the important thing here is choices. This doesn't interfere with your MiSTer operating system. It's not a standalone operating system. That still stands exactly as it is. But this is an option for you guys to go into if you want to use a front end like this to launch your games. It's very much so in its infancy. and it's working very nicely already, and you can imagine just in time this is going to get better, it's going to get more refined. If you are interested in something like this, check the download link in the description, set this up for yourself. There's instructions on the developer's GitHub, and get involved in the testing, the bug finding process. If you have suggestions, you can suggest them to the developer, but I can see this becoming the main front end to go to anyone that likes this kind of stuff on their MiSTer FPGA. Love checking stuff out like this. That's why I did a dedicated video on it. I'll leave a link to that dedicated video if you want to see a few more details about this. But in essence, guys, this is a front end that runs on your MiSTer via a core. And what can happen in future, if you really like this and you don't want to start with the MiSTer's normal operating system, you can probably have a script, so when you boot up your MiSTer, it boots up into this. But a lot can happen with this. It's just really nice to see this stuff like forming or coming alive, and hopefully forming into something like better and stronger in the future. So yeah, if you're interested, check the link in the description, get this up and running for yourself. Let's have a quick look at a week in Zaparoo. So a couple of things that I'm going to highlight here. So this is from Anime Otako, Holo GP cart labels. And again, I just really like looking at this stuff. So you can make GB style carts to launch your favorite games. So, okay, these aren't Game Boy games, right? They're just done with the Game Boy cart aesthetic. So you can launch Metal Gear, they've got NFC tags in there. You put them on your Zaparoo pad and you can run these awesome games for yourself, whatever they are. You know, the only limitation is your imagination here. But let me get out of this and into this. So some of your movie buffs might be super happy about this. So Phoenix here says, printed a lot of these in the past few days, think they turned out pretty great. And yes, they have turned out fantastically great, to say the very least. So what is this? Zaparoo is expanding. Without going too much into it, in a nutshell, imagine you've got a massive movie collection. It's a digital collection. So, you know, with our digital collections now, we've got to go pick the file. I mean, you can have some kind of digital storefront or front end that you're using on your machine. But what's really nice here is it looks like Zaparoo's getting integrated into movies now. Now, I don't really cover movies on this channel, but I do cover Zaparoo when it's related to FPGA. But I wanted to give this a shout because it does look really good. So just imagine now you've got, you know, family around, it's Christmas or an occasion where you've got a few friends around. So you can now print these cards of all your favorite movies. You can have your entire movie collection if you want. Let's say you've got 1,000 movies, you get 1,000 cards printed with all your movies on this. So someone comes around and they're like, okay, you know, I want to watch a movie, and you just present them with I don't know, like a little box, a storage container with all your cards in there. They're like flicking through there and they're like, you know what, I haven't seen Jurassic Park for a long time, let me watch Jurassic Park. You touch the Jurassic Park card on your NFC reader. It can be a raw reader, or it can be integrated into something. I don't know, you can put like an old VHS there and you can tap the card on there. That's where you've got your NFC reader. I mean, what we're saying here is, again, it's limited by your imagination. You can use this in very inventive and like amazing ways. So yeah, this looks really good. So for anyone that's really into movies and you're more interested in this, get in touch with Phoenix, head over to like the Zaparoo Discord and get involved. But I think this is going to be a great idea, because I know a lot of people are just as passionate about movies that they are about games. And as a general thing, there's a lot more movie buffs out there than there are FPGA gaming buffs. So it's nice to see Zaparoo evolving and just growing as a project on the whole. The cancelled SEGA Neptune. Remember that, guys? It's coming back as Neptune FPGA. A tweet here from DVI ZIX, or is it DivizX? Okay, finally finished the SEGA Neptune 6-button controller to complement the console. Still messing with the logo too. Not sure if I'll try to 3D print, as there's still lots of tweaks I'll have to make to the internals. And yeah, that looks very nice for the whole part. So the SEGA Neptune is something that's due to be released later. I know a lot of you guys are really looking forward to it, and yes, the controller does look sweet. If you want a gamble, I'll show you how to play. Okay, pick a card, any card, and that is what Cypede is saying. Yes, you can pull out a fully functional FPGA retro game console from the card box too, and that's an upcoming console from Cypede, the TangConsole. I think there's going to be it's going to initially come out with a 60k model, and I think after that, if I'm not mistaken, they're going to do like a 130 8K logic element console, but something to look forward to and something that I'm looking forward to trying on the channel when the time comes. Who remembers last month we had a look at Super Star Wars Holiday Special for the Sega Mega Drive? Well, guess what? That same game has now been ported over to the Commodore Amiga. This tweet here from Indie Retro News. Indie Retro News, Super Star Wars Holiday Special unofficially arrives on the Commodore Amiga as a port from the Sega Mega Drive. So if you want to check this out for your Amiga, I'll leave a link to this tweet where it's got a link to the Indie Retro News website, which has links for this particular game. A really cool YouTube channel called There Ought to Be, they have now released a Gameboy Slideshow Rom. So what can you do? Well, you can add images and make your own slideshow that can run on a Game Boy and a Game Boy Color. Right, fantastic. I can imagine like tricking a whole bunch of people with this, just saying that, okay, look at this game I've got running on my Game Boy, when in actual fact you are running it on a slideshow. As we just kind of saw there, you can run it via a flash card, you can even run it on the Analogue Pocket. So something for me to try out at some point. An interesting tweet that I came across. So Good Tofu Friday here says, completed for now, Sega Pico turned into a working Sega Genesis. Need to work on the adapter to increase compatibility, but for now I'm satisfied as I did what I set out to do. RGB controller sound modded Pico that plays Genesis games. So if you've got a Pico and you want to play Genesis games on there, well, you can. If you go further down on this tweet, there is a link to the GitHub page. Stick with me here now, guys. So Doom, it's become a meme that it can run on anything, and adding 2210 over here has actually got it running on a PDF. Let's click on that and let's have a look. Let's let it boot up. Now I'm not going to play it because, yeah, I'll suck at Doom, but I'm going to suck even more on a PDF. But guys, it is Doom running on a PDF. So next time you're doing like a big PDF presentation for a new sales pitch for your job, or you need to send something corporate out, you need to send, I don't know, some kind of comms out, why not just add Doom as a page on that PDF so they can actually sit there and enjoy, like it says, Doom on a PDF. But this is amazing. What else? What is it gonna run on next? So guys, if you were a kid that grew up in the arcades like me and you played a lot of arcade games, sometimes you'd have a dream with all your favorite arcade games and even all your console games just combined to come together to make an ultimate game. So Inter-O Illusionista, hopefully I got that name right. Now, I featured their projects on the channel before because, man, I'm a big fan. Like, this is like all the awesome stuff from my childhood combined into one. That guy there is from the game POW, and he's got the awesome move. Remember at the very beginning where you bust out the cell, you set that like gunpowder alight, but look at it, man, you're the POW guy down there. You got different characters in there. You're gonna find a whole bunch of different games down there. I can't remember what that character's from. Is that one of the ones from Magic Sword? Look at that, we got RoboCop in there, guys. I need to do a dedicated video or a live stream on this. That is just insane, you know. Your move creep or drop it, amazing. Look at that, RoboCop. We got Superman, guys. Seriously, I'll leave a link to this video, just check it out for yourself. But honestly, it feels like a childhood dream come true. You know, you played all those games, you played a lot of games, and everything has just come together. Sorry, there was a part there with Star Wars in there, man. Look at that, Boba Fett versus Alicia from Alicia Dragon. Guys, this is just nuts. You can't be a fan of all these games and not want to try this. So I'll link this video in the description, and in the description of that video you've got a download link. But this just looks amazing. I have to try this. The Dreamcast certainly gets a lot of love, and you know what? Well deserved. Recently we had the Grand Theft Auto 3 port, and guess what? Well, look at this tweet from Falco Gergis where he's talking about a Half-Life compatible engine, Zash 3D, and this time they've got Counter-Strike available for it. I think it's version 1.6, and you can play online on your Sega Dreamcast. So if that's how you're still doing your online gaming in 2025, well, you can now add Counter-Strike to the mix. If anyone can, the Hoffman can. So recently we spoke about Shinobi from the Sega System 16 being ported over to the NEO-GEO. Well, guess what? Hoffman hasn't stopped there. He has got a taste for this. And next he is bringing another game from the Sega System 16, and this time it's another arcade classic called Golden Axe. Having a look at this tweet here, this is progressing a lot quicker than I thought it would. Golden Axe, but on the NEO-GEO. So yeah, I'm looking forward to trying this out, man. Golden Axe was a favorite arcade game of mine, and you know what? Yeah, why not? Let's try it out on the NEO-GEO. So guys, that wraps it up for this week. I certainly hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then a subscription and a like is always super duper appreciated. I do also have a Discord, so if you want to come and hang out there, we also play one another online in games such as like what you're seeing now, Fightcade Waku Waku 7. So come and join the Discord and come and do some online casual gaming that is streamed only via the Discord. It's very exclusive, it's very fun, and we get to kind of hang and chat. Anyway guys, be absolutely awesome to one another. I'll see you guys around. This is Pixel Cherry Ninja out.